Thank you, Ciara, for that fabulous introduction. What an inspiration Ciara is to so many of us. My God, I was laughing and crying every 2 minutes down there. What an inspiration when you see what Ciara has gone through over the last few months as well. We can all definitely go away inspired already today. It's strange being on this stage without getting a kiss off Bob. It's my first time being up here without getting a kiss. And it's a big stage when you're on your own as well, but I'll manage. I want to start by thanking Alison and the girls at head office for asking me to do this slot today. Not just because it pushes you outside your comfort zone, for sure, but in putting the slot together, it really made me realise how much my lifestyle and me as a person has improved in the last 2.5 years since I started my business. So I hope you'll see that as well today when I share my story with you. So my background, as Ciara said, is in retail management. I started working at the age of 13, started in hotel bedrooms, cleaning bedrooms, then moved on to be a kitchen assistant, washing dishes, then moved on to being a chef assistant, making salads, sandwiches, that kind of thing. Then at the age of 16, I went into retail, and that's where I stayed for a long, long time, too long. I worked in retail at the age of 16 when I was finishing my Leaving Cert. Then when I was out of school, I went straight into full-time into retail. Worked my way up to management very fast. I've always been ambitious. I've always been very, very hard-working. I love to be challenged. My biggest ambition when I was in retail was always just to manage my own store. That was just my big, big goal. Spent a few years as a department manager, as an assistant store manager, and then got what I thought was going to be my dream job as managing my own store. A couple of years in of doing the role, I then realised I didn't feel satisfied in what I was doing. I didn't feel I was appreciated. I didn't feel challenged either, and that was a big thing for me. I love to be driven and I love to be challenged. I didn't feel appreciated for the work and the efforts I was putting in either. I settled for it because I was on what was called a good wage, and I was lucky to have it, I suppose, at the times we were in. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't willing either to look at the next step, which would have been area management, because I already felt I didn't have a good work-life balance. I already felt I was missing out on time with family, with friends, working weekends and late nights when my husband was off. I was just craving a better work-life balance, but I just didn't do anything about it. I just stayed put because I thought I was lucky to have the job that I had. Through my late teens and all through my 20s, really, my health was deteriorating. I had injured my back at the age of 17, had my first surgery at the age of 18, managed to keep working full-time with the help of surgeries, injections, medication, still managed to keep going as best as I could. Then in January 2013, it all changed. It went absolutely so much worse to the extent I couldn't have even imagined. I couldn't walk for about 3-4 months. And then I was faced with a spinal fusion surgery. Sorry. In April of that year. Sorry. It was definitely a tough time. Obviously, it wasn't a life-threatening illness. It wasn't what a lot of people are facing, but for me, it was extremely bad because I wasn't mentally prepared for what I was about to face. I knew I was going to face a lot of pain, and I was prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for losing my independence, for waiting for someone to come before I could eat because I couldn't even walk to the kitchen for months. I wasn't prepared for having to be so reliant on friends and family. I was so lucky that I have fantastic friends and family, and it was never an issue, but for me, it was where the issue lay, I suppose. I should have been getting better and better as the months were going on, but I definitely just felt I was getting worse and worse. I was faced with more problems. I had my hip went, my neck went, my shoulder, and I just couldn't see things getting any better. I was really in a negative headspace, really focusing on just all my problems. All I could think about on a daily basis was the problems I had, the pain I had. I couldn't ever see I was going to have a decent quality of life again. About a year after the surgery, I really just put a little bit of change of thought in. I realised I was never going to return to retail management, not for the reasons that I mentioned earlier, that I was unhappy with it as a career, but for health reasons. Obviously, I couldn't keep doing the lift and pull and drag and everything that came with retail management. This really just made me feel hopeless. I had been employed since the age of 13, and to be out of work for this long, I just felt hopeless, especially when it was a decision that was made for me, I suppose, for health reasons, rather than me actually taking the step away. I knew when I worked again, I wanted to make more of a contribution as well. I remember saying to Tomas at one stage that look at the doctors, the nurses, the physios, everyone that was helping me. They make such a contribution every single day. It made me absolutely, it really upset me to think that when I worked, my focus was just how much money I could make for a company, and that was it. I had a real change of focus. I started to really focus on nutrition, started to get really, really passionate about the effects of what you put in your body, the difference it can make. I noticed the more I was cooking with ginger and turmeric, it was affecting the inflammation levels in my body, and it really made me feel better that I had a little bit of control over how I could make myself feel. I was starting to get very aware as well of the effects of toxic chemicals in your system. I think that came from following a page on Facebook called The Girl Against Fluoride, and it was really a big eye-opener for me to see the effects of toxic chemicals can have on the body. And for me, I, silly enough, didn't realise that what you put on your body gets in your body until I started wearing morphine patches, and then that made me even look at the creams I was putting on my body. I started getting really, really aware of what I was putting on my body and in my body and how it could affect me. At this stage, I was getting close to the big 3-0 birthday, starting to think ahead to family planning. I couldn't have considered having a baby on that amount of medication, never mind my current state of health mentally and physically. I started to make a big, big effort to up my fitness levels, to lose the weight I had gained after the surgery that wasn't helping me, obviously, with mobility or pain. And I started to make a real conscious effort to be positive about the future, to see there was going to be something better out there for me and things were going to improve. I finally found a physiotherapist that was absolutely fantastic in helping me get back on track as well. And it was around this time that Forever found me, as a lot of us say, because it definitely did for me at exactly the right time. I straight away saw amazing benefits with the products, just on overall well-being, energy, bloating, even sleep and joint mobility, circulation. I was seeing fantastic benefits with the products, so straight away I had a real, real passion for them. Then even coming to events like this done an awful lot for me with my mindset. And that definitely has to be a starting point for you to improve yourself physically, even if you're going through some kind of an illness. You have to get your head right first. And being in rooms like this was definitely a big, big eye-opener for me on that. It gave me hope as well. I could see being in a room like this that people were achieving amazing things. And for the first time in ages, I could see I was going to have a good career again. My goals at the start were very small. Really, I just wanted to cover my prescription fees, my physio fees, have my own few hundred coming in, literally just to cover that. I was means tested off my husband, so I had no income coming in and about 300-400 going out every month just to pay physiotherapists and prescriptions. So that was my biggest goal, was just cover that and just feel a little bit independent again. Personal goals I started to set myself, even things like getting up at a certain time in the morning, staying out of bed all day. There were just little goals that I learned through Forever to set goals. And you can set goals in every area of your life, and I've seen a big, big difference that way. Physical goals, challenging myself to be able to sit a little bit longer. I remember first going to our weekly meetings, and I couldn't sit for that hour. I was getting up like a bloody Egypt, standing outside the room all the time. So just setting yourself little goals like that. Okay, can I hang on another 5 minutes? Can I hang on another 5 minutes? Been able to drive a little bit further, and just little things like that, challenging myself the whole way through. Mental goals of even being in the room at the trainings and trying to take little parts and stepping up and stepping outside your comfort zone and really just being part of what was going on. Started setting myself business goals of working up the marketing plan. Started looking at the incentives, ticking off the 4cc incentives and different things. And I really started to get excited about what I had my hands on. I really could see I was going to build something big for the future. Even though I wasn't ready to do it all at the start, and I didn't even try to do it all at the start, I knew when I was well enough, I was going to be able to do it. It gave me belief again in myself. I have solid belief in the company, I have solid belief in the products, but probably the last thing to come for most people is belief in yourself. And I know now that I'm going to achieve everything this company has to offer. What have I achieved so far? If we look at the income, we can now live and not just survive anymore. Even if that means just eating out, having nights away. I was able to change my car last year to an automatic, which is something I wanted to do for ages. Obviously, with the sciatica problems, if you're driving automatic, it is fantastic. And the heated seat is a lovely treat on your back as well. We built a home 5 years ago that had to basically stay as it was for a good time, obviously with just one income coming in. But then last year we were able to put the balcony on. You can see Daisy loves the balcony. Our house is a split level house, so it's bungalow at the front and 2-storey at the back. So the balcony comes out off our kitchen. So it is something that we use an awful lot, and we couldn't wait since the day we moved in to get it, and we use it an awful lot. Getting the outdoors area sorted as well, a nice seating area, barbecue area, getting our entrance done, getting our garden done, all these things that were they were years away for a long, long time that we're really starting to tick off now. Business goals. I've worked my way up the marketing plan. I've ticked off a lot of the company incentives, but it's really about what you can help other people to achieve as well. And these are a lot of people in my team that have got to supervisor level and know they're going to go so much further in it. And that's really what it's about, how you can help other people achieve their goals. But you really need to find what resonates with you, I found, when you're setting goals. And that's something that I didn't do for a long time. When I was first setting goals, I was feeling really guilty about wanting materialistic things. I had a fabulous house, even though it wasn't finished. It was still a lot more than what a lot of people have. I have a brilliant husband, I have great friends and family, and my health was really starting to be good. So why did I want more? I really felt a sense of guilt with that. I soon realised that I just wasn't connecting to the right things. I had a Range Rover on my goal board, because most people in Forever, when they make it, they get a Range Rover. I don't particularly want a Range Rover, so I just wasn't connecting with it. It's not going to make me jump out of bed in the morning, but finishing off my house will, even though that is materialistic. So you need to really find what really resonates with you, what's important to you. Find what it is, because that's what will make you keep going. What's really important is not the materialistic things. What's really important, what we achieve with this opportunity, is really the difference in a good life that it gives you, the day-to-day life that it gives you, the freedom, the time flexibility, the money, because the money will give you time as well. And I didn't connect to money for a long time. Again, I had a feeling of guilt over it. But when you see what you're going to do with the money, it's the choices that the money gives you. And the money can give you time, whatever way you want to look at it, whether that's maybe cutting back hours in a job so you can have a better work-life balance, or leaving your job and doing this for a better work-life balance, or whether it's having an extra income to be able to get a cleaner in so you have more time with the kids. Whatever way you look at it, money will give you time, money will give you a better life, so don't be frightened to connect to the choices it's actually going to give you. This is a brilliant quote I find from Tony Robbins. Success is doing what you want, when you want, where you want, and with whom you want, as much as you want. And that really sums it up. It really, really does. That it's not about materialistic things. It's about the day-to-day life, doing what you want, when you want, the freedom and the time flexibility. Freedom of time is definitely the biggest one I really, really appreciate. You all love my dog, don't you? Really, freedom of time is a big one for me. The last 2 Christmases, I was able to take 2 full weeks off and enjoy it with my mum. She lives in Lanzarote, so it's extra special to be able to have that time when she comes home. She came home for 2 weeks last year, and the year before. This photo was when I went to Lanzarote to spend New Year's with Mum. So it's really, really important at times like that you really, really start to appreciate time. If I was still working in retail, I would have had 24 hours off for Christmas, and I wouldn't have switched off. I would have been still thinking of that huge sales target that I had to hit the next day. Was everything set up okay? I wouldn't have had a Christmas. I never had a Christmas until the last 2 years, really. Then it's the way we work as well. Like, to say that you can work in front of your stove on a cold day, you can work from your garden on a lovely sunny day, you can work around your kitchen table with the team or at the park if they have the kids to be entertained. It's the way we work. That's the lifestyle of what it's about. And it's this little one. If I still worked in retail, I wouldn't have been able to get this little cute fur baby, because I wouldn't have been able to leave her for 10, 12 hours a day that I would have been gone out of the house. So it's those kind of time things that it gives you as well. Then if we look at the company that we're in partnership with, this really, really is so, so important. And I don't know, do we look at it enough as our mission statement to see the core values of this company? Do they resonate with you? What I really take from that is that people can be what they want to be. And that is what's so, so important, because everybody comes from different backgrounds, everybody has different goals in it. So it's so, so important that the person is what they want to be. And we can do it with integrity, empathy, and fun as our guides. I worked for companies before, and there was absolutely no focus put on people, not even customers. I worked for a company that had a no refund policy. Regardless where the customer turned on their heels at the door and came straight back in, they couldn't get their money back. I worked for a company that, as being a manager, I had to dismiss people for non-attendance. It didn't matter whether they were hospitalised and they had a cert, or whether they were having a hangover day or a duvet day. It was non-attendance. It did not matter about people or people's situations. We're part of a company that has such heart. I'm so proud to be part of it. But it's really important to take the time to decide, what does success mean to you? When are you feeling that you have a successful life? What does it mean that you need to achieve? What kind of a lifestyle do you want to live? Because lifestyle means different things to different people. What is really important to you? And what kind of a person do you want to be? Don't limit yourself when you set these goals. Lifestyle for me, when I really look into it, yes, the income is great, and yes, I do like I have a nicer car now and we can go on holidays again, but it's really the difference that it makes in you as a person. It's about your interests, it's about your behaviours, your opinions, your passion and your character. That's what changes when you get a better lifestyle, and that's what I've definitely seen the difference in me as a person. When I look at me as a person now, I definitely feel much more that I'm piecing together. I'm passionate about health, fitness, nutrition. I have a positive mindset. I focus on positivity. I practice gratitude. I really focus on helping people. And what this opportunity really shows us as well is that people are equal. I would have really viewed myself below someone before if they came from a better area or they were better educated. This opportunity shows us that we can offer to anyone. People are equal. I'm sure there's people in this room that are maybe doctors, solicitors, accountants, stay-at-home mammies, retail staff. Absolutely anyone can be successful in this, and it shows us that people are absolutely, totally equal. I'm me now. I don't dress, speak, act the way anyone else thinks I should. I'm happy being me. This slide here gets me. This is part of my team, Team Bamboos, and they're definitely the reason why I am the person that I am today. Definitely are. It's not that I'm not grateful for their contribution to my team or my business, of course I am, but they'll never know how much they contribute to me. And it's the friendships that we meet. Yeah, it's great to have people as business partners, but I'm sure every single one of you have friends from this business now, regardless whether they're even still working the business or not, regardless of what CCs they're putting in. The friendships that you build are absolutely so valuable. So many of you need to be thanked for my journey as well. Whether I've attended one of your trainings or you took part in a success day, I've been inspired by so many people in this room, and I really want to thank each of you for your inspiration. My focus now is totally different to what it was 2.5 years ago. I now focus on healthcare, not sick care, which is a much nicer way to live. I focus on self-care. I know it's important to look after me mentally and physically. I really have total control over my time, and I prioritise my husband, my family and friends. My physical and mental health now are at a totally different situation to what they were than I can ever remember feeling, to be totally honest. I live life to the fullest now. I feel feelings every day. When I was working in retail, I'd probably go the whole week on just one feeling. Now I feel ups, downs, highs, lows, excitement, nerves, everything, every day. You're all over the place. But that's when you're living, that's when you're feeling. I don't wish the day away anymore. I did that a lot of the time, especially in retail. Is it 5 o'clock yet? Is it Friday yet? Or even Saturday, because the weekend you still work. So I live every day, I enjoy every day, and there's a big difference when you start living life like that. The time goes way too fast, I'm sure most of us will say in this business. And I know now I'm making a contribution. I'm helping people with their health, their wealth, and their personal development. Ask yourself what is really important to you, and then build your life around that, because that's when you'll see success. That's when you'll see the lifestyle that you want. Find what it is, what's important to you, and build your life around that. Don't compete with other people. I've done that for a long time, and I think a lot of people do, mainly because this company is so good on recognition, appreciation, awards, incentives, and a lot of the time you'll compare yourself to what other people are achieving. Don't waste your time doing it. It's your journey. You can only ever compete with you, so focus on just being a better person than you were yesterday. Stay focused. I think it's the biggest challenge for most of us as entrepreneurs, is to stay focused. But I think it's much easier to stay focused when the goal is really of what's of value to you. When you connect properly to your goal, that's when you stay focused. And that's where I've seen the difference, where I know where I'm going now. I know exactly what I want to achieve, why I want to achieve it. When I wasn't connecting, I wasn't focused. I was good one day, bad for 3 days, good for a week, bad for a month. When you're connected, it's a lot easier to stay focused. Set big goals as well. You will be amazed at the person you become in achieving them, and that's where the real success is. That's why we say it's so important to work on yourself. You can't achieve big goals until you become the person that can. So really work on yourself, on your mindset, improving yourself personally, and that's when you'll achieve the big goals. Believe in yourself. Again, that comes with working on yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing, what you're about. Be happy in what you're doing. The time is going to pass. This isn't a practice life. The time is going to fly by. Are you going to have something to show for it? Get busy living. And I don't think there's a better quote than this one. Are you going to spend your life building someone else's dreams, or are you going to work to build your own? And that's so true for so many people. They work very hard. They work very long hours. Why not do it for ourselves? And stop thinking it's not possible. Absolutely everything this company has to offer has been achieved in this room by so many people. You can do it. There's absolutely nothing different stopping you or stopping me. Just go for it. Thank you very much. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the day.